Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Pioneer Prep. I'm Grimm from the Bug Out Boys, and the prep that we're going to be creating today is going to be the Cigar Fishing Kit. Now, I'm going to bring you in close so I can show you how to make your very own and just some of the possible things that you can put inside your kit. Everything that you see in front of you is what you're going to need to make your very own cigar fishing tube. You're going to need your cigar tube, of course, hooks, leaders, line, scissors, your fishing tackle of choice, and then you're going to need a street bike inner tube. As you can tell, that is a lot thinner than your mountain bike inner tube. The reason a street bike inner tube is that when you're going to be securing your fishing line on the outside, normal Ranger bands are too wide. They won't hold it very well. So make sure you get a street bike inner tube to make tiny Ranger bands. Speaking of the cigar tube, I chose this one because it had a threaded lid, and I thought that was great for security and keeping everything inside. And then also the diameter and the length are very akin to a chem stick. So anywhere that you can put a chem stick, like in your molly or special pouches for it, you can stick this as well. It makes it very versatile. Also, it has a good grip to it, so if you're using this to fight a fish, you have something very nice to hold on to. It is metal, so it's a little bit stronger, but as you can see, it's taken some punishment, some denting. And if this tube is not to what you like, that's perfectly fine, because they make cigar tubes with a larger diameter, shorter, longer, metal, plastic. There's even some travel tubes out there that I will leave a link in the description, a sponsored link that is, if you want to go check those out. And I will also leave some sponsored links to these individual things to help you find them just a wee bit faster if you want to make your very own fishing cigar tube. Now that you got the tube though, you got to pick out the line. Now I went with spider wire, and I went the stealth camo because spider wire, the camo, I can use that for a lot of different things. I can use this for trapping, I use it for trip wires, but it's braided. That's the important part, because one thing that I have noticed when you use the non-braided fishing line is that it kinks up. The braided does not kink up like your normal fishing line. Now to secure this to the tube, take your inner tube, take your scissors, and then you want to cut right about here. And you can have at least two of these, but you could have 2, 3. You can put them a little bit thicker if you want, but from my previous ones that I made, I keep it about a ½ inch because they get a little bit difficult to get on the tube, which is good because it's going to hold your line down. So now that we got at least one down, let's get the line on the tube. So as it comes off the roll, you can see that it's not really keeping that curl to it, staying straight. This is also 80 pounds. So whether I'm getting a small fish or a big fish, I want to make sure that that line doesn't break on me. Take your line, and we're going to tie it around this tube and affix it with a knot. Now I'm just going to use a square knot, though I'll admit there's probably a better fishing line knot to do this with, but I just want it on there. Now I'm going to take a little Ranger band that I made, and this is going to be a little bit tricky because as you can tell it doesn't have a lot of stretch, but that's okay because you want it on there really good. And we're going to secure the knotted end down with this Ranger band. Sorry if I'm not showing you very well. There we are. So now it's underneath and that's secure. Now I'll take this line and just start transferring it from your spool to your tube. And now that I've come back to the end, I think I have enough line on there. I went down, back, at least 3 if not 4 times. This is 300 yards, and I'm not going to need 300 yards of this on this one tube because you can make multiple of these. Now, if you want to transfer all 300 yards, by all means, but I just wanted to put enough line on here that I think I would need for fishing. Also, possibly making some traps with, as well as if the line ever breaks, I would still have enough line to fish with. Now that we're at the end, just going to snip it. There we go. And I'm going to make sure that's at the end. Take that second Ranger band, and let's get it on here. And you want to pull it on top of this end of string, like there. So now this is all locked in. Now if you wanted to put a third one right here in the center, because it feels a little loose maybe in some areas, or you're worried about protecting your line, go for it. Ranger bands have lots of uses, and it'll take a little bit of time, but you can see I can get it on top, like so. And that's going to lock it in and keep it from unraveling from you. And there's my end right there. It's easy to see. I can leave it right here, or I could pull it through the other side. Now let's talk about our tackle. I would recommend small hooks. I have actually a couple different size hooks here. All of them still have their barbs. I did not take the barbs off because I do not want to lose my catch. And you can choose to leave the hooks off of their leaders if you wish, but I decided to put them all on different lengths of leaders because that's just one more thing that I don't have to do out in the field. Perchance, let's say it's very cold and my hands are shaking and my dexterity just isn't there. That's one less thing I have to tie well to get the hooks on here. The ends, I did a simple loop. It's going to be hard to see on that one. Actually, here we go. There we go. A simple loop, because then I chose to use these type of connectors. Now, I know there's probably a fishing term for them, but I'm not a great fisherman. But this way I can just pinch this, get it out, hook it in, and then tie this to the end of my line. This also gives me options that if I wanted to put another line on here for a sinker, one of these guys, I can do that, or a bobber. This gives me a lot of options. Now, you'll notice I have 4, because 1 is none, 2 is 1, and I'd rather have a lot of these. Same thing with my weights, and then I found these really nice bobbers. Now, these aren't huge bobbers, they're just styrofoam, so you don't have to worry about them being punctured, but they fit right inside. So if you need to keep your bait off the ground so it doesn't snag on any rocks, these will do the trick. And if one doesn't do it, as you can see, they're like little push kind where the hooks are at the bottom and the top, so you can put them wherever, slide them wherever you need them. But if you need a little bit more lift, well, add 2, 3. I mean, I could probably buy a whole nother pack of these, so I'd have 6 total, which might not be a bad idea, and fit them all in here. So we have our hooks, different sizes, all with barbs. I've attached the leaders. If you want to, you don't have to. But then, at the end of the day, you're taking all your stuff, all your tackle. If you want to put in some lures, if you wish, by all means. I like to put the heavy stuff at the bottom, things that I know. I'll put those in there. And then, since I left my leaders attached, it is a little messy. We're just going to keep all the hooks together. Here we are. Get your hooks in there. And then that way, for me at least, the leaders are all at the top, and it's just a matter of pushing them inside this tube. Now, like I said earlier, your leaders are going to get kinked if you decide to do it this way. They can be stretched back and straight again. And there we are. I don't know if you can see that very well, but judging by my finger, I'm not bottoming out yet, so there's still at least a finger's worth more of storage in here. So I could definitely get in a few more floaties or some more weights or a couple of artificial lures. But now, cap it. And now you have a cigar fishing kit. And this is just one. I mean, the cigar tube is basically trash that you throw away after smoking your cigar. So now you're repurposing it, and you can make one for your bug out bag, one for your day bag, one for your car, and each one of these are their own little kits to help you catch some necessary protein in a survival situation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make your very own cigar fishing kit. And like I said earlier, you can use all sorts of cigar tubes, the fat ones, long ones, skinny ones, whatever serves your purpose the best. Maybe even one of those travel cigar tubes that I showed up on the page. But again, your imagination is your only limitation with this, and it's a nice small package for you to contain all your fishing tackle and gear, so in an emergency or a survival situation, you'll have them right at hand. So if you enjoyed this Pioneer Prep, please do subscribe, because there's going to be more Pioneer Preps, bots, reviews, and Bug Out Boy episodes along the way. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below in the comment section. I love to read them, and I love to get back to you. So till then, take care.